What if I told you that what people call selfish or narcissistic behavior is actually undiagnosed ADHD? Here's an unpopular truth. People with ADHD or ADD, as it used to be called, often look like they only care about themselves. They don't care about anybody else. You talk with them and they're constantly interrupting. They don't remember anything that you just told them 5 minutes ago. They forget about birthdays. They're unreliable. They're always late. And they seem to be very argumentative based on their personality, of course. And what does this mean? It means that it's not just about narcissistic behavior, because let's be honest. In some cases, it is about selfishness on top of having undiagnosed ADHD. But in the cases where people are actually trying and it's not selfish behavior, it's still an area that needs to be addressed, because there are so many people that are walking around who have not been officially diagnosed with ADHD. And the number one group is women. Women are diagnosed decades later than men or boys, because usually ADHD is diagnosed in boys in childhood, because it's obvious. Bad behavior, not paying attention, hyperactivity, all of those things that are just classic ADHD are usually seen in boys at earlier ages. They're diagnosed and they're medicated. But for the women who are not diagnosed until their 30s, 40s, and even 50s, then it's a whole different story, because their lives tell a completely different journey about where they're coming from and where they are now. But it answers a lot of the missing pieces of the puzzle, where a woman doesn't know why her life never really took off the way that it did, why she never really fulfilled her potential, because of this unregulated brain. And that's what ADHD is. Now, it's not an excuse for people to fall back on and say, well, oh, this is why I cannot do this and that. That's not it. What is important to know is that it is something that is recognized, that you understand what it is, and that there are other ways that you can treat it as well. Now, the first thing that doctors like to do is to write a prescription for ADHD, but it's not quite the thing to do, because especially with women who are diagnosed at later ages, it has to be a more nuanced approach to how you can help with these symptoms, especially when you're dealing with perimenopause at one end or you're dealing with premenstrual syndrome at the other end. There's hormones in there that have to be balanced.